Everyday people. I'm with this guy over here named Blue. He's a special kind of guy. I've been seeing this guy on the train for like 2 years now.
I've been out there for 9.
Alright, so tell people your name and what you do.
My name is Blue. Some people call me Brad. You can find me online under Brad Blue Bathgate. Brad Blue Bathgate. I'm a self-publishing author. I write books and I come out and sell them. I write them, edit them, then come out and sell them. That's basically it. I make a living off of them.
For real?
Yeah, I've been doing it for the last 9 years. I make a living off of my imagination.
So you've been writing for 9 years?
I've been writing for 12. I've been writing for 12. I've been making a living at my books for the last 9 years.
Tell us about your books.
Well, the books are very socially conscious poems with a dry wit, dry sense of humor to it. A lot of times if you heard me for the first time, you would probably think I'm a comedian, but I'm not. I just like find the humor in the ironic things of everyday life in the world, but in particular New York City, because I think New York City is a funny place. It has a lot of contradictions about it, and that's what I basically find humorous about living in New York City.
You know what? I heard that you was in the Daily News. Is that true?
Yeah, I was in the Daily News. Daily News back in about 4 or 5 years ago. The Daily News gave me a whole page. They gave me a whole page. I've been in the Daily News. I've been in the New York Times and the New York Newsdays. But the New York Daily News was the biggest article I had. That was the biggest one.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. What motivates you to write?
I just love to write. I like to give people something to think about, something different. I just like being creative. Like if I don't write, then I feel frustrated. So to me, writing is a way of releasing my anger and things that are pent up in me. A lot of times I used to think like, a lot of times people doubt themselves, and then when you doubt yourself, I think the best way to clear all doubts about who you are is to put it on paper and just write it. That way you can read it over and over again.
I agree. That's what I do, actually.
Yeah.
You want to show us some of your books?
Oh, this is my first one. My first one was entitled Corner Stores in the Middle of the Block. And how that came about, I used to work in a barber shop, and I was sitting across the street one day looking out the window, and a friend of mine said, I'm going to the corner store, I'll be right back. And I noticed the corner store wasn't on the corner. It was in the middle of the block.
Right.
So we still call it the corner store. Then my other book is entitled Don't Beat Your Children or They'll Turn Out Like Me. It's not a book about how to raise your children, but what the book does, it encompasses my outlook on life and the things I've heard growing up and outside of the box thinking. A lot of things I say go against modern opinion, so I think that's in general what offends people, because people feel like, particularly in my culture, we feel like beating your children is the way of getting your children to behave. A lot of times parents are just bad parents, and bad children come from bad parents.
Oh man, you heard about that lady that left her baby on the in the car seat on top of the car and drove off? Because she was half weed?
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I think I heard of it. I always joke and say that you need a driver's license to drive a car. You should have a license to have a baby also. But don't quote me on that.
Alright, you got 3 books, right?
I got 3. My other one is called Pretty Ugly. It's out of print right now, and I plan on reprinting it probably by the end of the month. The reason I don't print that one is because it's a little more expensive. There's more pages, and it doesn't move as fast as the novel as the poetry does.
Okay.
But eventually I'm going to bring it back out. Hopefully I have it back out by
How much are your books, by the way?
My books I sell them for $10. And if you're interested, I sell them for 10 and 10. And if you're interested in getting a copy, hit me up on my Facebook page. Brad Blue Bathgate. Brad Blue Bathgate.
Alright, so do you encounter writer's block, and what do you do to overcome it?
There's no such thing as writer's block.
Explain that theory.
There's no such thing as, people always say I have writer's block. There's no such thing as writer's block. Writer's block happens when you're trying to critique yourself, you're being too critical about who you are. You can write poems about having writer's block. So there's no such thing as having writer's block.
Or if you're trying to write to cater to a certain crowd.
Right, to cater to a certain crowd. The best thing I always heard, the greatest advice is to write your fears. Put your fears on paper.
Yeah, I do that often.
That's all you gotta do.
So what motivates you to stay on your self-publishing grind?
Just to get people out there, just to let people know what I do. That's all. That's my, and to prove I feel like I have something to prove. I'm egotistical like that. I can't lie, and that's why I do what I do.
So you want to be known. You want to make. You want the world to know your voice.
That's right.
Blue was here, or is here rather, is here. So all right, check this out. What advice do you have for people getting into a self-publishing game?
Love what you do, and love what you do, and only care about the people who don't. Only care about the ones who like you. The ones who don't like you, fuck them. Like I always tell people, people always want to try to put their brain into my head so I can think like they do, and they can't do that. So if they don't like you, forget them.
I agree with that. How can people get in contact with you to get one of your books? But I seen you on the train. That's how we first met, actually. I don't know if you remember me.
A little bit, yeah. I'm Brad Blue Bathgate, and you can reach me at 917-736-8047. 917-736-8047.
All right, so is there anything you want to tell the viewers, everyday people viewers here?
Life is simple. Humans create the obstacles.
All right, you heard it from Blue. All right, we out.
That's right. Thank you very much, man.
We're going to go get your stuff. I'm on the train in a few minutes. Look, just looking at your pocket.
Really good stuff. Great poetry. Funny too. Funny.
Yeah.
Funny.
Thank you very much.
No, I really do. I'm not blowing smoke. I really do like your stuff. I do. Good luck.
It's edgy.
And doing it yourself, I think, is a great idea. In my opinion, it's so hard. The publishing world is so.
And people think like you write a book, it's just gonna fly off the shelf. I tell people, I say, a million people that have beautiful voices and they don't have record deals. So come on now, people wait for television, radio for validation.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem too with publishing. Is it's the people that are famous in something else. They go, I know what I'll do. I'll write a book. And then, because they're popular, they can.
Right. Then they get it right. Like these people, like housewives.
Or Madonna's children's books. They're awful. In my opinion, they're awful. They're horrible. And they fly off the shelves. My girlfriend's a children's book writer, so, I'm biased. But I think they're horrible. If you ever, let's say you're in one of the 2 Barnes & Noble that still exist, pick one up. I mean, they're just terrible.
Yo, what's up, everybody? These are my books. Get a copy. This one is called Don't Beat Your Children or They'll Turn Out Like Me. This one is called Corner Stores in the Middle of the Block. And this one is called Agitation Gets the Dirt Out. Get a copy. Hit me up on my Cash App. $1 Brad Bathgate. And I'll mail them to you myself. Or check me out on Amazon. Peace.